Hey folks, so first off, I really want to say thank you very much for all of you who have supported me over the years and the different kinds of projects that I'm working on. As you may know, I've been doing some wire patches that I sell on Juice Bar, and I am very appreciative and very thankful for all that you have done for me. It really means a great deal to me. I am very excited to make patches, but I'm also always looking for avenues of things that I can, express my creative expression, right? My creative talents. I can use my creative talents. And I'm sorry, this is Luna. Luna is a special kitty. But anyways, sorry about that. She just is crazy. Today I really just wanted to kind of also discuss something that I had saw that it was very exciting. I have a friend of mine who asked me some questions not too long ago about how to adjust colors within Resolume Avenue and Arena so that you have a specific layer and they all have the same color, right? They all have the same color space. I used something that's a chroma key, and I was able to change the chroma key within a certain specified range, and I was able to make those adjustments. And it works really, really well. The things that I noticed with it is that it still takes processing power because you're using Avenue to run a wire patch, and the wire patch is using a chroma key on something that's animated, and so on and so forth. As that spirals down the path of the GPU, it can take some processing power to do that. It's not necessarily bad. It's not crazy. It works. It works fairly well. But I really wanted to talk about some of the new features with Wire. So Wire has this new feature called the LUT in. LUT stands for lookup table, and it's the color lookup table, right? So it basically allows you to use a color lookup table from, for instance, Photoshop. I'll give you an example. Here's my Photoshop file, and what I've done is I've actually have a levels smart layer, a curved smart layer, and a gradient map. And the gradient map right at this moment, as you can see up here in the upper left-hand corner, is still it's set to 71%, so some of that color still spills through. I could change it directly to 100%, and it'll be the entire gradient of this gradient map that I've made here, which is this blue. It can be any color that I so choose. I could do purples, for instance, let's say. Let's say we wanted to do something like this, or we wanted something more like that. It gives me the option to do all kinds of crazy things. I'm gonna reverse that so that you get the real color that you should probably see. What I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to drag this in, and I'm going to add another color within Photoshop, and I'll just make it a little bit darker just so that we have some shadows, some nicer shadows. But you have this pink and blue, right? I hit OK. And what I can do is I can then export this out as my color lookup table. I go File and Export. And when I go to export, I say color lookup table. It'll ask me a series of questions here. Typically, it'll already have 3DL set up. So what I do is I just uncheck 3DL. And if any of these others are unchecked, I just uncheck them. And I set for cube. I can leave a description up here if I so choose to. I could call this, pink and blue, right? This is not the name of the file, it's just a description. I'm going to copy that because I'm going to use that again. And then when I hit OK, it's going to bring up my Save As box, and then I could set this as my LUT name, right? So paste. And there it is right now, color lookup table, and we'll save it to the desktop, right? So now when I save it, it's going to create that color lookup table, and it's going to save it onto my desktop. I'm going to go back to Wire. And I've already got a LUT that's already saved. I already saved it once. So if we go to the node, you'll notice that I have a blue value here. And then I also have a normal value, which my normal value is just simply that. It's not anything crazy. It's basically the normal color that's coming in, right? And so if I have my color lookup table and I choose the normal, I get the normal color. And if I choose blue, I get the blue color. If I add in another options count, I can then say this is pink and blue. And what I could do is then choose where that file is, browse. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to choose the pink and blue and open. And now when I choose pink and blue, I get that pink and blue color. And that, to me personally, as a artist, as a Photoshop artist, as a digital artist, this is game changing, right? Because now we're actually physically changing the colors, the color scheme of everything that's in Arena by simply just having a LUT, and you just create an effect and you apply it to the layer. And I'll give you an example of that in just one sec. To give you a kind of an example, I have a texture in, right? So basically say this is the texture that's coming in, and then I'm applying a LUT to it, which is from the LUT 3D in. The LUT 3D is the actual file itself, the file that I'm bringing in. There's two of them, as you can see here, right? There's the value 0, which is the eDesktop blue cube, and then the label 2, which is the pink and blue, which is the value is eDesktop pink and blue, right? And then it's being fed into this LUT node, and then the LUT node is going to the texture out. And then all I do is just basically make sure that the actual patch itself is set to an effect. I save out the effect, and then I open up my Arena. In Arena, what I'll be able to do, actually let me save that real quick. I just want to make sure I saved that. I hit Control S. Now in Arena, what I can do is I can actually set that up to control all kinds of different things within the system, right? So here I've already pre-applied the LUT test that I created. And typically this is what this one looks like. It's green, right? And it's on the clip. It's the effect. And I can either make it the blue or the pink and blue. This is not specifically, you're not seeing too much pink and blue because there's not very much white highlight. So if I bring in a white highlight on the normal, right? So now I have this green and white. The green is dark enough and the white is bright enough that when I add pink and blue, now you actually physically see those pink and blue options. But there's some really nice effects with this, because what I could do is I could apply this to a layer as well, and then the entire layer is being affected, right? So anything that's in that pink and blue layer is now being affected. And I think that is just amazing. That adds so much functionality that it's hard to explain. Right here, you'll notice that it's pink and blue again. That's probably because I have the layer yet again. I'm gonna disable or close or delete out that LUT effect out of my layer mask, which is on the main layer here, and I'm just applying now just the clip effect of the LUT test, which is just the blue, which had the 71%. And as you can see here, some of that residual red from the original graphic is still being bled through into the blue, right? And then if I go to pink and blue is the entire thing. I didn't set an opacity to that. So any of the brighter areas are blue or pink, and any of the darker areas are this blue color. And it's not just this duotone. You could set it to any levels or color gradients that you so choose. The other things that are nice about this is it works on almost any kind of file, right? Or actually, it does work on any kind of file, and you get this nice adjustment, and quickly, rather, might I add. So this is one of the newer features within Wire. I haven't had a chance to go through the other two effects, but I kind of have an understanding as to how they work. And I'm actually excited to play with them because it gives a new kind of ability within Wire that wasn't available before, or it wasn't as easily available, I should say, right? You could add in a texture in or an image into your Wire patch. However, when you did it, it would actually save it into the Wire patch itself. And so what would happen is if you had too many images that were a large file, they would increase the size of your Wire patch, and in turn would cause issues later on down the line. Well, with the new version, it actually creates this video in, which only loads the file on demand, we could say, right? So basically what happens is in here, you can actually load in the file. That's the other thing. It gives the user, it gives my users the option to add in a video. And the same thing with the image in, it allows you to load in an image. And that one could be very exciting. These two both options have some exciting prospects, I should say, right? To give you an example of some things that I've been thinking of behind the scenes, the video in would allow you to scrub a piece of video to the left or to the right based on the bass volume that's being hit. I once saw this flower that was opening up and closing based on the beat of the music, and I thought that would be visually interesting on any kind of video, especially if you have some specific kind of action that you want to make it happen on a certain beat. I thought that would be very interesting. Or you could randomize it based on the beat as well. I think those options could be available to anyone who has the video in action. So it doesn't have to be just something that I've specifically created. It could be something for the user. In the specific case of the image in is actually also one of those things that's very interesting as well, because you could technically create sprite tables and offer a wide range of variation to your files within Arena and Wire. And, imagine the world is your oyster. You just basically create the textures and patterns ahead of time, and then you're able to crop them down to the manageable chunks that you want to see. Or you could play basically sprite images as an animation within Wire. I think that's very doable. The thing that I'm not sure of is if that is going to cause an issue within post-processing, right? Because then you're having to do that within Wire into Arena, and if you're already running low on resources within your computer, that may be an issue. But I'm not really sure. I'd have to test that out, but I'm excited to test that out because that gives me all kinds of new techniques to toy around with. Good on the Resolume people. They make an amazing product. I'm always happy to be a part of their projects and their world, if you will. I'm excited to see the new things that they come out with every year. They do some fantastic stuff. I'm, shout out to those guys. They are amazing, amazing folks. So that's pretty much it. This is a short video, or I'm trying to keep it short. Thank you again for all your interest over the years. I am beside myself with excitement about. I know it doesn't look like it. I've had it's been kind of a crazy and wild day, but I am truly appreciative of and thankful for all of you out there who are interested in what it is that I do. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.